52 pictures, I think you've made, if you care to count them.
52, 54, I don't know.
And after all that time, do guys still come up and say, hey, Burt Lancaster?
Certainly. As a matter of fact, it was a stranger thing than that. I was one day rushing to an appointment, a luncheon appointment in New York, and someone from across the street said, hey, he said, my favorite movie star. I said, thank you, thank you. He said, gee, I'm so nervous. He said, you're my favorite movie star. I said, thank you. He said, but I'm so nervous. He says, your name went right out of my head. Well, that's all right. I said, my name is Douglas. Yeah, he said, Douglas Fairbanks, you're my favorite movie star.
Hey guys, what's up? If you're new here, I welcome you to the channel, and if you're just returning, I welcome you back. Anyway, I'm in Beverly Hills today, and I wanted to show you a house that's sort of personal to me. See, it's the longtime home for most of his life, right up until his death, of Kirk Douglas. Now, the reason it's personal to me is that we always used to drive by when we were in Beverly Hills, and one day we were driving by, we saw a car pull in, and it was Eric Douglas, Kirk Douglas's son, Michael Douglas's brother, who passed away. He had just got out of the car and he was visiting Kirk. But this is an interesting house because Kirk Douglas lived up here. He lived here until his death, and he also has in the backyard footprints and signatures. Okay, so Kirk Douglas started his film career in 1946 and quickly rose to become one of the biggest movie stars during his time. He was married to his wife Anne since 1954 and lived in this house most of his life right up until his death. Now, we're on Rexford in Beverly Hills, beautiful neighborhood, but Kirk's home is small and modest, especially for becoming one of the biggest movie stars of all time. Now, his wife just died in 2021, and the house went up for sale shortly thereafter. Anne is buried next to him at Westwood Village. Kirk really made this house his and never lived behind huge gates. But I'll show you the final home right here. That's the longtime home of Kirk Douglas. On February 5th, 2020, the legendary actor Kirk Douglas passed away right here in this house at 103 years old, surrounded by his family. Now in the backyard, and like I said, I'll post pictures, is a celebrity walk of fame from when all his celebrity friends would come over.
Most prized sentimental selling point. It's what has spurred all this press. Beyond the guest house and pool, the Douglases created their own personal walk of fame. These stepping stones, look at these. Each one autographed by legendary movie stars. For starters, Frank Sinatra's signature engraved in one of the Douglases' 22 stones. There are 67 autographs in all.
Lucille Ball, Warren Beatty, Burt Lancaster, Joanna, and Sidney Poitier.
The backstory is these are people who actually came here and dined with the Douglases.
When their friends came over, they would do an autograph. And he would take that exact autograph and have it put in stone.
There's even a family stone.
Kirk in the middle and his four sons, so Michael Douglas, Peter, Eric, and Joel.
Before the couple died, Rochelle says the Douglases made it clear the star-studded stones were to stay with the property.
But we watched Eric come and visit one day when we had drove by, and Kirk lived here right up until his death. There were pictures of him being taken out around the neighborhood in his wheelchair as he got older. But it was this house right here, not far off Sunset. Small, modest house. I'll show you more pictures of it. But this was the house Kirk Douglas lived in. A Hollywood legend, no huge gates, was right here. This is Kirk Douglas's house. Now, it went up for sale after Anne passed away. And the celebrity Walk of Fame in the backyard was included. But that's the house for almost his whole life. Right here in Beverly Hills. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching. I'm glad I got to show you where Kirk Douglas lived for most of his life and right up until his death and his wife's death. The house has some really cool features, has that cement Walk of Fame in the backyard for all his celebrity friends. But it's, like I said, it was personal to me only because I remember Eric coming to visit Kirk here. And Eric passed away many years ago. So it's interesting to see. Alrighty, now let's head over to their final resting place and see where Kirk, Anne, and Eric are buried. I want to show you the final resting place of the legendary Kirk Douglas, where he's buried with his wife and with his son Eric. Now, I told the story of seeing Eric at Kirk's house going to visit his dad. So it's a little bit of a personal one for me. Eric died years ago, but here's the final resting place of Kirk Douglas, his wife, and his son. Let's check it out. Now on the bench, at his grave, it says, "Caring is sharing." And there's the final resting place of Kirk and Anne Douglas, absolute Hollywood heavyweights, legendary, and his son Eric, who is an actor in his own right.
That you're a coward.
The men can say what they like, sir. I don't really give a damn.
I give a damn.
That is your prerogative, sir.
Is it true that you ordered Sergeant Ripper to signal a retreat this afternoon?
Yes, sir. I saved the company. If we had continued up that hill, none of us would be alive now. There's no way we could have reached the objective.
Lieutenant, the purpose of that attack was to pin the Germans down while the rest of the division fell back.
Kirk Douglas, he became an absolute heavyweight. He was a boxing hero in Champion. It brought him his first Academy Award nomination. His other early films included Out of the Past, Young Man with a Horn, and playing opposite Lauren Bacall and Doris Day in Ace in the Hole, and Detective Story. He did so many big movies. Even into the 80s, he appeared in such films as Saturn III, The Man from Snowy River, and Tough Guys. Now, he lived in his longtime Beverly Hills home that I showed you. See, in 1996, at the age of 79, he suffered a severe stroke, and it impaired his ability to speak. Now, he was able to accept an honorary Academy Award, and he went on there and he spoke, and it was truly awe-inspiring to watch him. He struggled through it, but he made it. Now, he died right at his Beverly Hills home, surrounded by his family at the age of 103, and his cause of death was kept private. But it was February 5th, 2020, when he passed away at 103.
Late word coming in this evening, legendary actor Kirk Douglas has died. For decades, one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, appearing in films such as Spartacus, Lust for Life, and Gunfight at the OK Corral. He also helped break Hollywood's infamous blacklist. We met up with him a few years back here on the broadcast. He told me Spartacus was the role he was most proud of.
He's buried right here in the same plot as his son Eric. Right here at Westwood. The family had a private memorial service at Westwood Village Memorial Park, where he's laid to rest on February 7th, 2 days after his passing. Truly a gifted actor. He gave a lot to us over the years in entertainment. Now, Eric Douglas himself was an actor, stand-up comedian. He had substance abuse problems. And on July 6, 2004, a maid found Douglas's body in his Manhattan apartment. There were painkillers, alcohol, tranquilizers in his system. But the family's buried right here at Westwood. Alrighty guys, I'm glad I got to show you the final resting place of Kirk and Ann Douglas and their son Eric, right here at Westwood. For the young people who may not know who Kirk Douglas is, he was one of the legendary actors, one of the biggest actors of his time, and gave a lot of great movies and a lot of great performances. But they're right here. So that's the final resting place of Kirk and Ann and Eric Douglas. I appreciate you watching. Subscribe. I have more filming locations, celebrity graves, landmarks, true crime locations. So let's go on more adventures together. Thanks, guys.